Marcus tightened his grip on the steering wheel as the school came into view. Every morning felt the same, but this one didn't. He just didn't know it yet. The parking lot buzzed with noise, parents waving, kids laughing, backpacks bouncing against small shoulders. Marcus noticed all of it from a distance, like he was watching life through glass. His daughter Lily sat quietly in the passenger seat, her pink backpack clutched in her lap. 8 years old, too observant, too careful with her words. "You've got your lunch?" Marcus asked, forcing lightness into his voice. She nodded. "And my library book." "Good." He paused. "Anything else?" She hesitated for half a second, just long enough for him to notice, then shook her head. No. That half-second would matter later. Marcus walked her to the gate, crouched down, fixed the strap on her backpack like he always did. Routine was safety. Routine meant nothing unexpected could slip through. "Love you, kiddo." "Love you too, Dad." She hugged him tight, tighter than usual. Then she ran off without looking back. Marcus stayed there a moment longer than necessary, watching her disappear into the building before turning back toward his truck. That's when the weight hit him. Not sadness. Pressure. The kind that lived behind his ribs. The kind that showed up every time he dropped her off, because this used to be the part her mother handled. 2 years ago, mornings were different, louder, messier, alive. Now they were quiet, efficient, controlled. Marcus told himself that meant he was doing a good job. At work, the day blurred. Measurements, phone calls, a foreman asking questions Marcus answered on autopilot. He checked the time more than usual, counting down to pickup. When the final bell rang, Lily climbed into the truck slower than normal. "How was school?" he asked. "Fine," she said. That word again, reeful, neutral, like she was protecting something. They drove home in silence. Later that night, while Lily showered, Marcus reached into her backpack to pull out a crumpled permission slip he remembered signing in the morning. His fingers brushed paper. Not the slip. Something thicker, folded, tucked deep into the side pocket. His stomach tightened instantly. Marcus pulled it out. A small, worn piece of paper, edges soft, folded more times than necessary. Definitely not from today. And definitely not from school. He unfolded it slowly and froze. Because he recognized the handwriting before he read a single word. The slant, the uneven pressure, the way certain letters leaned into each other. Amanda. His wife. His breath left his lungs like he'd been punched. His hands started shaking as the room seemed to tilt, memories crashing in all at once. Hospital lights, beeping machines, promises whispered too late at night. This wasn't possible. He had gone through everything after she died. Every drawer, every box, every scrap of paper. So how, why, and why now? Footsteps echoed down the hallway. "Dad?" Lily called from the bathroom. "Did you find my paper?" Marcus stared at the note in his hands, at the words he hadn't read yet, at the past that had somehow followed his daughter to school and come back home with her. "I'll be right there," he called, voice tight. But he didn't move, because before he read that note, he needed to prepare for one terrifying truth. Whatever Amanda had written, she never meant for him to find it this way. Marcus didn't read the note right away. He folded it back the exact way he'd found it and pressed it against his chest, like that might stop the shaking in his hands. His heart was beating too fast, like his body had recognized the danger before his mind caught up. "Dad?" Lily called again. "The water's getting cold." "I'm coming," he said, louder than he meant to. He slid the note into his jacket pocket and walked down the hallway on legs that didn't feel like his own. He helped Lily with her hair, listened as she talked about spelling words, and a classmate who cried during recess, nodded at all the right places. But his mind wasn't in the bathroom. It was in a hospital room 2 years ago. After Lily went to bed, Marcus sat alone at the kitchen table. The house was quiet in that hollow way it got after 9 p.m., the kind of quiet that made thoughts louder. He took the note out again. Just looking at it hurt. Amanda's handwriting hadn't changed. Even the small imperfections were there, the way her M leaned slightly forward, the loop on the Y she never quite closed. This wasn't a memory. This was her. Marcus unfolded the paper slowly, bracing himself like someone about to step into freezing water. The first line made his breath catch. If you're reading this, it means I didn't get to say everything. His chest tightened so hard he had to put his hand flat against it. The note wasn't long, but every word felt deliberate, chosen. I don't know when you'll find this. I don't even know where it'll end up. But I know you, Marcus. You don't throw things away when they matter. His jaw clenched. He hadn't thrown it away. He just hadn't found it. If this is in Lily's bag, I'm guessing she's older now, old enough to notice things, old enough to worry about you. Marcus closed his eyes. How did she know? I need you to hear this clearly. You are not failing her. His vision blurred. You will think you are. You will think quiet means broken. You will think surviving isn't enough. But Lily doesn't need perfect. She needs present. Marcus felt something give way inside him. Not all at once. Just enough to hurt. Please don't teach her that love ends when someone leaves. Teach her that love stays, even when it hurts. The last Ines were written darker, like Amanda had pressed harder. And when you're ready, not when you think you should be, but when you're ready, let yourself be happy again. That won't erase me. It will prove I mattered. Marcus lowered the paper, hands shaking. He had spent 2 years believing happiness was a betrayal. Amanda had been trying to stop him. A soft knock broke the silence. Lily stood in the doorway, pajama sleeves pulled over her hands. Dad, I didn't mean to take it, she said quietly. I found it a long time ago. It was in the blue bag in the closet. I thought maybe it was important. Marcus looked at his daughter. Really looked at her. She wasn't just quiet. She was carrying something. You've had this? He asked gently. She nodded. I keep it with me at school. It makes me feel like Mom's still close. Marcus stood up and crossed the room in 2 steps, pulling her into a hug so tight she squeaked. I'm so sorry, he whispered. I didn't know. Lily hugged him back. It's okay. I think Mom wanted us to share it. Marcus held her there, the note pressed between them. And in that moment, he realized the note hadn't just changed his day. It had changed the direction of his life. Marcus didn't sleep that night. He lay on his back staring at the ceiling, Lily's slow breathing drifting down the hallway, Amanda's note folded neatly on the nightstand like it was keeping watch. Every sentence replayed itself, not as words, but as accusations and forgiveness tangled together. He had failed in ways he never admitted out loud, and he had survived in ways Amanda had predicted. Just before dawn, Marcus sat up and made a decision that scared him more than grief ever had. He was going to talk to Lily. Really talk to her. At breakfast, Lily poked at her cereal while Marcus poured coffee he barely drank. The silence felt different now. Less defensive, more cautious. You carried that note for a long time, he said carefully. Lily nodded. I didn't want to lose it. Why didn't you tell me? He asked, not accusing, just asking. She shrugged, then looked up at him with eyes far too serious for 8 years old. Because you looked sad all the time, and Mom said you get quiet when you're scared. Marcus's chest tightened. She said that? In the hospital, Lily said, when you thought I was asleep. That memory hit him like a wave, Amanda whispering, Lily listening, him thinking he was protecting both of them by holding it together. I thought if I gave it back, Lily continued, you'd cry again, and I didn't want to make things worse. Marcus reached across the table and took her hand. You didn't make anything worse, he said firmly. You helped me. Lily studied his face, searching for cracks. You're not mad? No, he said. I'm grateful. That afternoon, Marcus did something he hadn't done in 2 years. He left work early. He picked Lily up from school himself and didn't rush home. Instead, he pulled into a small park they used to visit before Amanda got sick. The swings were old, the benches chipped, but the place still smelled like leaves and sunshine. Lily hesitated. Why are we here? Marcus smiled softly. Because I forgot how to stop. They sat together while Lily swung, her laughter tentative at first, then freer. Marcus watched, feeling the weight of the past and the pull of the future tug at him at the same time. That night, after Lily fell asleep, Marcus reread the note again, but this time he noticed something new. A date, written small in the corner. 3 days before Amanda passed. That meant she'd hidden it intentionally, not for him to find right away, but for Lily. Marcus swallowed hard. This wasn't an accident. The next morning, Marcus called someone he hadn't spoken to since the funeral. Amanda's old school friend, the one who worked as a counselor. I think my daughter needs help, Marcus admitted. And I think I do too. Saying it out loud felt like stepping off a ledge. But instead of falling, he felt steadier. Days passed. Lily started talking more. Marcus started listening instead of fixing. They cooked dinner together, burned it together, laughed about it together. But grief doesn't loosen its grip without a fight. One afternoon, Marcus got a call from Lily's teacher. Nothing was wrong, which somehow made his stomach drop even more. She wrote something for an assignment, the teacher said gently. Something I think you should see. That night, Marcus sat at the table with a folded paper in his hands. Different handwriting this time. Not Amanda's. Lily's. And as he opened it, Marcus realized the note in her backpack hadn't been the only message waiting for him. Marcus unfolded Lily's paper slowly, like it might tear if he rushed it. The letters were uneven, some too big, some drifting off the line, the kind of handwriting that still hadn't decided what it wanted to be yet. At the top, in careful pencil, was the assignment title, Someone Who Takes Care of Me. Marcus swallowed. He hadn't expected this to hurt. He should have. He read the first line. My dad wakes up early even when he is tired. That was it. That was all it took. He kept reading, his chest tightening with every sentence. He makes my lunch even when he forgets to eat his own. He checks my backpack every morning like he's afraid I'll disappear. Sometimes he looks sad, but he still smiles at me so I won't worry. Marcus had to stop. He pressed his fingers against his eyes, breathing through the burn. The next paragraph was shorter, more deliberate. My mom died, but my dad didn't stop being my parent. I think that's hard. I think he thinks I don't notice. His throat closed. Lily had noticed everything. The last lines were written darker, like she'd gone over them more than once. I keep Mom's note in my bag because it make me brave. I think Dad needs it more than me now. Marcus leaned back in his chair, staring at the ceiling. For 2 years, he had been trying to shield his daughter from pain by carrying it all himself, and in doing so, he had taught her to do the same. That realization hurt in a new way, not like grief, like responsibility. When Lily came home that afternoon, Marcus was waiting for her at the door. Not distracted, not halfway listening. Present. "Hey," she said cautiously. "Hey," he replied. "Can we talk for a minute?" She nodded and followed him to the couch, tucking her legs under herself. "I read your assignment," Marcus said gently. Her shoulders tensed. "Am I in trouble?" "No," he said quickly. "You were honest." She looked down. "Is that bad?" Marcus shook his head. "It's brave." He pulled Amanda's note from his pocket and set it between them. "Your mom left this for both of us," he said. "But I think I forgot something important." Lily looked up. "What?" "That being strong doesn't mean being quiet," Marcus said. "And taking care of each other means letting each other see the hard parts." Lily considered that. "So, I don't have to hide things either?" "No," Marcus said. "We don't hide anymore." She nodded once, then leaned into him. "Okay." That night, Marcus made another decision. He emailed Lily's teacher and thanked her. Then he emailed the counselor Amanda's friend had recommended. Then, after staring at his phone for a long time, he typed one more message. It was to Natalie. "I found another note today," he wrote, "from Lily. I think I finally understand what Amanda was trying to do." The reply came a few minutes later. "She was teaching you how to keep going. Together." Marcus set the phone down and felt something unfamiliar settle in his chest. Not relief. Permission. But healing doesn't move in straight lines. And just when Marcus thought he'd found his footing, life placed him in a moment he couldn't control. One that would force him to choose between staying safe and stepping fully into the life Amanda believed he could still have. The call came on a Wednesday morning, right as Marcus was pulling into a job site. Unknown number. He almost let it ring. "Marcus Walsh?" a woman asked when he answered. "Yes. This is Dr. Elaine Porter. I'm the school counselor assigned to Lily's grade." Marcus's chest tightened instantly. His mind jumped to worst-case scenarios the way it always did. "Is Lily okay?" he asked, already bracing. "She's fine," Dr. Porter said quickly. "There's nothing wrong, but there is something important." Important was never neutral. Dr. Porter explained that Lily had been volunteering to help younger students during recess, sitting with kids who cried, sharing snacks, giving away crayons. Quiet, steady kindness. "She shows a lot of emotional awareness," the counselor said. "More than most children her age. That can be a strength, but it can also mean she's carrying things she shouldn't have to carry alone." Marcus closed his eyes. "I think she learned that from me," he said quietly. Dr. Porter paused. "That's exactly why I wanted to talk to you." They scheduled a meeting for Friday. When Marcus hung up, he didn't start the truck again right away. He sat there, hands resting on the wheel, breathing slowly. For 2 years, he'd told himself Lily was resilient, that kids bounce back, that silence meant coping. Now he understood something different. Silence can also mean waiting. That evening, Marcus told Lily about the meeting. She didn't panic, didn't protest. She just nodded. "Okay," she said. "Can I bring Mom's note?" Marcus hesitated. "If you want." She smiled softly. "I think it helps adults understand things faster." That hit him harder than he expected. Friday arrived too soon. The counselor's office was warm, calm, books on shelves, a box of tissues placed at exactly where it was needed. Lily sat between Marcus and Dr. Porter, swinging her feet gently. They talked about school, about friends, about the assignment. Then Dr. Porter asked, "Lily, do you ever worry about your dad?" Lily glanced at Marcus before answering. "Yes," she said honestly. "He tries not to cry." Marcus inhaled sharply. "And how does that make you feel?" the counselor asked. Lily thought for a moment. "Like I need to be extra good, extra quiet." Marcus's heart sank. Dr. Porter turned to him gently. "Children don't just learn from what we say," she said. "They learn from what we model." Marcus nodded slowly. "I thought I was protecting her." "I know," she replied. "But letting her see you heal teaches her how to heal too." After the meeting, Lily reached for Marcus's hand in the hallway. "You weren't mad," she said, almost surprised. "No," Marcus replied. "I was proud." That night, after Lily fell asleep, Marcus sat alone again, but this time he wasn't avoiding the quiet. He opened Amanda's note one more time. Then he did something new. He added to it. He took a clean piece of paper and started writing. Not for Lily, not for himself, for the future. He wrote about fear, about trying, about mornings that felt heavy and evenings that felt possible. He folded the paper carefully and placed it in the same drawer where he'd once found nothing but emptiness. This time, it felt intentional. But just as Marcus began to believe he was finally learning how to move forward, life presented him with a moment that tested everything he'd been practicing. A choice that didn't come wrapped in grief, but in opportunity. And opportunity, Marcus was learning, could be just as frightening. The opportunity arrived in an email Marcus almost deleted. It came late Sunday night, buried between supplier updates and school newsletters. The subject line read, "Community Mentorship Program. Recommendation." Marcus opened it without much thought. By the second paragraph, his pulse had quickened. Someone, Dr. Porte, apparently, had nominated him for a pilot program that paired local tradespeople with middle school students who needed stable adult mentors. Not therapy, not charity, real skills, real time, showing up once a week and teaching kids how to build something that lasted. Marcus leaned back in his chair, staring at the screen. This wasn't about money, or grief groups, or healing circles. This was about being seen. The email ended with a simple line. "We believe your life experience would matter to these kids." Marcus closed the laptop. For years, he'd avoided anything that put him in front of other people's pain. It felt safer to manage his own quietly. Helping Lily was one thing. Helping strangers' children felt dangerous, like opening a door he might not be able to close. That night he dreamed of Amanda. Not sick, not tired, just standing in their old kitchen, sleeves rolled up, watching him with that look she used to get when she already knew his answer. Monday morning, Lily noticed the tension immediately. "You're thinking loud again," she said around a mouthful of toast. Marcus smiled despite himself. "What makes you say that?" "You're stirring coffee that doesn't need stirring." He laughed softly. "Fair point." He told her about the email in simple terms, about teaching kids, about showing them how to build things. Lily listened carefully. Then she asked, "Are you scared?" Marcus considered lying. "Yes," he admitted. She nodded like that made sense. "Mom said being scared means it matters." That settled something. The orientation meeting was held in a school gym after hours. Folding chairs, fluorescent lights, a dozen adults who looked just as uncertain as Marcus felt. As introductions went around, Marcus noticed a pattern. Loss, divorce, hard turns. Everyone there had lived something that left marks. When it was his turn, Marcus didn't plan a speech. "I build houses," he said. "I'm a dad, and I'm still figuring some things out." That was enough. The first session was chaos. Tools clanged. Kids talked over each other. One boy refused to participate at all, arms crossed, eyes daring anyone to make him care. Marcus didn't push. He handed the boy a measuring tape and showed him how to lock it in place. "Building's about patience," Marcus said quietly. "You rush it, it falls apart." The boy didn't smile, but he stayed. That evening, Marcus came home physically exhausted and emotionally wired. Lily met him at the door. "Did you help anyone?" Marcus nodded. "I think so." She grinned. "Then you helped yourself, too." Later that night, Marcus realized something subtle, but important. Helping others didn't drain him the way grief had. It grounded him. Still, not everything moved forward smoothly. Because the next invitation that arrived wasn't about mentorship, it was about connection. And it came from Natalie. Natalie's message arrived just after dinner. Marcus was rinsing plates when his phone buzzed on the counter. He glanced at the screen, expecting work. Instead, he saw her name, and felt that now familiar tightening in his chest. "I don't want to make this weird," the text read, "but there's a small fundraiser this weekend, for the hospice. I'm going anyway. And I thought I'd ask. No pressure." Marcus read it twice. 2 years ago, anything connected to hospice would have been an automatic no. He'd built his life around avoiding places where the past could ambush him. But this wasn't the past calling. This was the present asking. He didn't reply right away. He finished the dishes, checked on Lily, who was sprawled on her bed reading, hair still damp from her shower. "Natalie texted," Marcus said casually. Lily looked up over the book. "Is she okay?" "She is," he said. "She invited me to something." Lily tilted her head. "Like a date?" Marcus almost choked. "Like an event." Lily considered that. "So, do you want to go?" That was the question, wasn't it? "Yes," Marcus said slowly. "I think I do." "Then you should," Lily said, already turning back to her book. "Mom hated when you overthought." Marcus smiled to himself and typed back. "I'll come. Thank you for asking." The fundraiser was held in a modest community center. Soft lighting, quiet music. People who spoke gently, like they'd learned how fragile stories could be. Natalie greeted him at the door. No awkwardness, no assumptions. Just a small smile and relief in her eyes. "I'm glad you came," she said. "So am I," Marcus replied, and meant it. As they moved through the room, Marcus noticed how Natalie navigated conversations. She listened more than she spoke, remembered names, remembered losses. She didn't perform compassion. She practiced it. At one point, they stopped in front of a wall of photos, patients, families, moments of holding on and letting go. Marcus felt his breath hitch. "I can step outside if you want," Natalie offered quietly. He shook his head. "No, I don't want to keep running from rooms like this." Natalie studied him. "That's a big step." "It feels like one," he admitted. Later, as they sat at a small table with cups of coffee that had gone cold, Natalie said something that surprised him. "I want to be very clear," she said. "I don't see you as someone I need to fix, or save, or pull out of grief." Marcus met her eyes. "I see you as someone who's learning how to carry it," she continued. "And I respect that." That mattered more than any romantic gesture could have. When Marcus got home, Lily was asleep. He stood in her doorway for a long moment, watching her breathe, thinking about all the ways children absorb what adults model. He realized something then. Healing wasn't just about surviving pain. It was about choosing honesty over isolation. The next morning, Marks thus found himself humming again as he packed Lily's lunch. She noticed, smiled. "Big day?" she asked. "Maybe," he said. At work, the mentoring program called. One of the boys had asked if Marcus would be back next week. Marcus said yes without hesitation. That night, he pulled Amanda's note out one more time, not because he was breaking, but because he wanted to share something. "I'm trying," he said quietly to the empty kitchen. "I hope that counts." But life has a way of testing progress. Because the very next day, Marcus received news that threatened to undo everything he'd just begun to rebuild. And this time, it wasn't emotional. It was practical. And it would force him to decide what kind of future he was really choosing. The news arrived in a plain white envelope. No drama, no warning, just paperwork. Marcus opened it standing at the kitchen counter while Lily colored at the table. He skimmed the first paragraph, then reread it more carefully when his stomach dropped. The lease on the workshop space for Walsh Sun Construction wasn't being renewed. 30 days. That was it. Marcus sank into a chair slowly, the paper trembling in his hands. That space wasn't just a workshop. It was storage, equipment, jobs in progress, contracts tied to an address that would no longer exist. This wasn't grief. This was survival. "Dad?" Lily asked, looking up. "What's wrong?" Marcus folded the letter and forced a calm expression. "Just work stuff," he said. "Nothing you need to worry about." She watched him closely, too closely. That night, Marcus didn't sleep again. But this time it wasn't memories keeping him awake. It was math, rent, tools, payroll, mentoring hours, school schedules. Everything collided at once. The old instinct kicked in immediately. Shut down. Handle it alone. Don't burden anyone. But something had changed. The next morning, Marcus did something unfamiliar. He asked for help. He called his foreman and explained the situation honestly. No bravado, no pee. Pretending it was fine. The response surprised him. "We'll figure it out," Danny said. "We always do." Marcus called the community center running the mentorship program. They offered temporary storage, shared space, flexibility. And finally, after staring at his phone for nearly an hour, Marcus called Natalie. He didn't dress it up, didn't soften it. "I'm overwhelmed," he said, "and I don't want to disappear again." Natalie listened quietly, then said, "Come over tonight. Lily, too. We'll eat. You don't have to solve anything." That sentence alone felt like oxygen. At Natalie's apartment, Lily spread her homework across the table like she owned the place. Natalie cooked something simple. No expectations, no pressure. After dinner, while Lily worked on a puzzle in the living room, Marcus told Natalie everything. The lease, the fear, the voice in his head telling him he was about to lose control again. Natalie didn't rush to reassure him. "You're not failing," she said calmly. "You're adjusting. There's a difference." Marcus laughed softly. "You sound like a counselor." She smiled. "I spend my life with people in transition. This is what it looks like." When they drove home that night, Lily was unusually quiet. As Marcus tucked her into bed, she asked, "Are we going to lose the house?" Marcus sat on the edge of the bed. This time, he didn't lie. "No," he said. "Things might change, but we're okay." She nodded, then reached into her bedside drawer and pulled something out. Amanda's note. She handed it to him. "Mom wrote this so you'd remember," Lily said. "Not so you'd be scared." Marcus held the paper, emotion tightening his throat. "You're right," he said. "Thank you for reminding me." After Lily fell asleep, Marcus sat alone in the living room staring at the dark window. The future still felt uncertain, fragile. But it didn't feel empty anymore. He pulled out his phone and drafted an email to the school board, to the community center, to potential partners. Not begging, inviting. For the first time, Marcus wasn't trying to go back to how things were. He was building forward. Still, one question remained. Was he brave enough to let this new life fully form, even if it meant letting go of the last pieces of the old one? Marcus didn't expect the reply to come so fast. By noon the next day, his inbox was full. Not sympathy. Interest. The school board wanted to talk about expanding the mentorship program into a vocational track. The community center asked if he'd consider running weekend workshops. One local contractor, someone Amanda used to admire, asked if Marcus would be open to sharing space temporarily. Marcus sat back in his chair, stunned. For years he'd believed momentum only came from pushing alone, from grinding through fear in silence. But here it was, movement created by asking, by opening the door just enough for others to step in. That afternoon, Marcus picked Lily up from school early. "Surprise?" she asked, climbing into the truck. "Good kind," he said. "I think things might actually work out." She studied his face. "You look different." "How?" "Like you're not holding your breath," she said. He laughed softly. "That might be the nicest thing anyone said to me." They stopped for ice cream even though it wasn't a special occasion. Even though it was cold. Even though 2 years ago Marcus would have told himself it was unnecessary. Lily got chocolate. Marcus got vanilla. Amanda used to tease him for always choosing vanilla, said it matched his personality. He chose it anyway. That evening, Marcus and Natalie sat on his porch, mugs warming their hands as the sun dipped low. Lily played on the steps nearby, humming to herself. "I got some good news today," Marcus said, telling Natalie about the emails, the offers, the possibility of rebuilding his business in a new way. Natalie smiled, but there was something carefree in her expression. "That's exciting," she said. Then, after a pause, "Can I ask you something honest?" "Always." "Are you rebuilding your life around what you lost?" she asked. "Or around what you want to become?" The question landed quietly, but it didn't let go. Marcus thought about the workshop, the mentoring, the way Lily watched him now, the way he no longer felt like he was apologizing to the world just for being alive. "I think," he said slowly, "I'm finally choosing forward." Natalie nodded. "That matters." Later that night, after Lily fell asleep, Marcus opened Amanda's note again. Not to cling to it, to thank it. "I think you knew," he whispered. "You always did." He folded the paper and placed it back in the drawer, but this time he didn't leave it alone. He placed Lily's note beside it. His own letter, too. 3 voices. 1 family. Still moving. The next morning, Marcus stood in front of a small group of kids at the community center. Tools laid out, plans sketched on a whiteboard. Lily sat in the back, swinging her feet, watching him with quiet pride. As he explained how to measure twice and cut once, he caught her eye. She smiled. In that moment, Marcus understood something he'd missed for a long time. The note in the backpack hadn't just changed everything because of what it said. It changed everything because it reminded him he was still needed, still seen, still capable of building something that lasts. And just as Marcus felt that truth settle in his bones, life presented one final moment, small, personal, and irreversible. A moment that would decide whether he truly believed what Amanda had written. The moment came on an ordinary Thursday night. No warning, no build-up. Just Lily, standing in the doorway of Marcus's bedroom, clutching something behind her back like a secret she wasn't sure she was ready to share. "Dad?" she said, softly. He looked up from folding laundry. "What's up, kiddo?" She walked in and sat on the edge of the bed. Her feet didn't quite touch the floor anymore. She was growing. He hadn't noticed how much. "I was thinking about Mom," she said. Marcus nodded. "Me too." She pulled her hand forward and placed something on the bed. It was the note. Amanda's note. The same one Lily had carried in her backpack. The same one that had changed everything. "I think," Lily said carefully, "I don't need to take this to school anymore." Marcus's chest tightened. "Are you sure?" She nodded. "I know where it is now. And I know what it says. And I think Mom wanted you to have it again." Marcus didn't speak. He didn't trust his voice. Lily climbed into his lap the way she used to when she was smaller. "You're doing okay, Dad," she whispered. "Mom was right." That was it. Not the grief, not the fear, not the memory. That was the moment he let go of surviving and fully chose living. Marcus held his daughter and felt something settle into place. Not happiness, not closure, but certainty. They were going to be okay. The next morning, Marcus placed the note back in the drawer with the others. Not hidden, not guarded, just there. Later that day, he stood at the community center, laughing with kids, teaching them how to build a frame that would actually hold weight. Lily waved at him from the corner, proud and unafraid. That evening, Natalie came over for dinner. Nothing fancy, just food, conversation, and the easy comfort of people who weren't pretending anymore. As the sun set, Marcus caught his reflection in the window. He looked tired, but he also looked alive. Amanda had been right. Love doesn't disappear. It leaves instructions. And when Marcus finally learned how to read them, everything changed. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that healing doesn't mean forgetting, subscribe to the channel for more power. Full stories about single dads, loss, love, and second chances. Sometimes the right story finds you exactly when you need it.